Right, so the first game we've got this week is F1 Championship 2000. We've finally moved away from the original PlayStation, so we're on the PlayStation 2. So most of the footage in this episode is captured using the backwards compatibility on my old 60GB PS3, so enjoy. And so with this, it's the same as the other episodes, so just generally been loading the game, picking a car, picking a track. Any assists that are on, as this flashed up assists, are just on by default, so I haven't really been messing with any settings unless I've had to. Couple of games on the last episode I did have to change the actual scheme for the controls just because I didn't find the analog controls suited how I expected to play these games, and I think, I think this is the same on one of these in the later episodes, but I've tried to stick to just, again, put the game in, play and see how we get on. I do like the slight sharpness, even though this is still 2000, so technically it would have came out in 1999, but the graphics have improved quite a lot, as you can imagine, from the original PlayStation versions, but there's still a lot of improvement that could be done, as we should see on later games. I did find that this handles a lot better than some of the previous games, but I seem to be doing better with the EA games at the moment, because this was actually developed and published by EA, so I think this was one of their first forays into Formula 1. Now obviously they own Codemasters, who make the current Formula 1 games, so they basically have the license for everything, but back then there was a couple of third-party games that were just made by random studios that weren't always licensed, and then you'd have the Sony studios, which were, I think, the carryovers from Studio 33, which were the PlayStation 1 versions, the ones I didn't get on with too well. And these EA games seem to be quite decent. It's arcadey, but there is full season benefits, so I got on quite well with this one, I think. I don't think I did too bad, considering, again, it was just pick up and play, but I liked this one. Oh, whoops. Okay, I need to stop doing that. I think the only criticism I've got of this game so far is just the actual engine noises for the cars. I know back then they were a lot louder, but this just seems to be a poor sound effect, but it's just grating after a bit, but you can kind of generally ignore it. I don't think I've done too bad. I was like 7th. I wanted to try and get on the podium again. Oh, okay, that was a bit weird. Well, that was pushing too hard, I think. But I don't think I can blame anything other than myself on that. But it looks like I've got coverage, so that's... Oh, man. Okay, so I think I'm going to finish 7th on this one. But from the back of the grid to 7th, I'm not too... Ooh, okay. That's a bit weird. So I think because I'm running this on the emulation on PS3, if you can see there's a bit of like slight texture popping. I know these games don't run perfectly, but to be fair, it plays fine. There's no dropped frames. It's just I think there's some weird artifacting happening with that texture, if you notice on the advertising boards. But still, it's been fun to play. I've enjoyed this. I tend to like the EA games more at the moment than the Sony ones. But we'll see how we get on, because after this race is going to finish, we will be jumping into the next game, which is Formula 1 2001 by Sony. Okay, so here we are with Formula 1 2001, and this is the Studio 33 developed, Sony published offering for that year. So let's see how we get on. So I know I picked a Jaguar again. I think I've gone for Eddie Irvine, gone for Brazil, and okay, that's not a good start. So let's see how I can get on. I'm hoping, because I know the Sony versions I've not done too well on, because I've always found the controls are really twitchy, and this one again uses the analog control rather than the D-pad control, which the previous EA version used the D-pad. I didn't change it. I thought for once, whoops, I would try and use the control scheme which is preferred, and I so far do not like it. It just doesn't control well. It seems quite twitchy. But at least the HUD isn't too distracting. It's nice and pleasant. It doesn't take up too much of the screen. But I'm struggling to stay on the track on this one, so I don't see this going too well. But you know, I'll keep going. I'll persevere.
He caught the wall then. Terrible luck for Eddie Irvine. And he's lost it. Onto the grass goes Eddie Irvine. He should be able to get back on the track from there. He scraped the wall there. Oh, bad luck for Eddie Irvine.
I honestly think at this point it would be a miracle if I could just stay on the track for a lap, because this just isn't going well.
Goes Eddie Irvine.
Alright, come on, third lap. Let's see if I can actually stay on the course this time. Right, first corner. Take it a corner at a time. I know I'm gonna finish last, let's face it. I'm probably about 30 seconds behind everybody, but if I can stay on the track, that's a bonus. Right, this is no. Well, okay. Well, I tried, but yeah, I've got nothing else to say about this game. I do not like the Sony Formula 1 games. I guess if I spend more time playing it, I may get more enjoyment out of it. Like, it's probably just because I haven't played it and the cars feel very twitchy compared to the EA versions that I was playing previously. But I don't like this game, to be honest.
And the final race order here at Interlagos, Brazil is finishing in first place is Mika Häkkinen. In second is Michael Schumacher. Third place on the podium goes to Rubens
Next
Barrichello.
one.
In fourth place is Jenson Button. And it's fifth place for Ralf Schumacher. It's
I think this is the first one. We've got blocky grid girls on this one. Whee! So this is F1 2001, the EA Sports equivalent, and it already handles a lot better than the previous one. So I'm happy about that, but let's just see how I can get on. I do okay on the EA one so far. So let's see if I have any more good luck with this one. I do like the HUD on this one. Like, you've got the map on the far right, you've got the arrow indicator on the far left. It does look very basic, but it tells you everything you need to know. I think the only thing that's missing is I don't think I'm hearing much commentary or any commentary, so I don't know whether they actually had any or much licensing to use the commentary on these. But I do like how the presentation of this is. Like, the graphics again are quite simple, but it's running at a good frame rate. It's enjoyable to play. The handling is fine, it's just I'm not doing too well, and he's just crashed off. I think that's David Coulthard. But it's, oh god, it's good that you can have a bit of fun with this one, and there's collisions, but it's, again, it feels very arcadey. It doesn't feel like a simulation game like the EA Sony ones are trying to be, but this is a lot more enjoyable for me, and this feels more like the recent Formula 1 games, the Codemasters ones. But I like this. I'm having more fun with this than I did with the previous game. think this has got to be a first as well. It looks like it's going to rain. Looks like we've got dynamic weather on this game. That must have been a revolutionary tech for that time. Trust EA Sports to bring that in. Oh, look at that spray coming off the back of the car. So we've gone from perfect weather to it raining, and the cars are behaving a little bit erratically. But let's push for a top 10. I could do this. Let's go for a top 10. I know we take graphics for granted these days, but this is pretty impressive. Like, the spray coming off is nice. It's a nice touch, and you've got the rain coming down. You've got them ripping the odd visor off, and the handling's dynamically changed a little bit as well. And it's washed off some of the debris off my tyres from earlier, which is an interesting thing that I've only just picked up on. And oh, there goes my top 10 finish. Oh, well, at least I've tried. I've had fun with this, and the dynamic weather was just an unexpected turn of events. I've lost the plot now, but I've enjoyed this. So let's see how the next one fares up, which will be Formula 1 2002, but the Sony version. I'm going to be showing my age here, but this is the Formula 1 logo that I grew up with when I used to watch Formula 1 on Sundays on BBC. I've had to cut the audio from this for obvious reasons, but that's the Formula 1 logo I remember, not the weird one that we've got now. But this is Formula 1 2002. This is the Sony published one, and the graphics are good. It looks an improvement over the last one. You can got the updated roster as you'd expect. The one disappointing thing for this one that became immediate was a short race is 15 laps. The previous games have been like 3 or 4. This is 15, and I didn't check to see if I could change it. Probably should have, but 15 laps for a quick session is too much. So we've gone to the Australian Grand Prix because I just try and stick to the same tracks in different games. And again, this is using the PS3 for emulation. I think I stuck with the analog controls again for this one, because I wanted to try and get used to using them, but this didn't go well. I've at least had an okay start on this one, which is good. It's an improvement over the last Sony one, but it just doesn't feel like, look how the car twitches when you turn. That's not good. It shouldn't control like that, but at least I am getting further up the field, which is an improvement over the last Formula 1 game at least, especially the Sony ones. But I don't know, there's just something about this one I just didn't enjoy, and I don't know whether it's just because I prefer the EA ones. It's the barrier that's going to cost me. I don't have much fun with the Sony ones, and I don't know why, because I play the current Formula 1 games and I really have a good time with those, and not a lot's changed other than the graphics and some of the car physics, but I just didn't think this handled well unless you're going at slow speeds or on a straight. I just didn't enjoy this at all. And I'm trying not to just be overly negative with it, but the graphics are good and the HUD is fine. I've got no issues with that. It's got the official timings on the bottom, which is a nice touch, and I don't think there's much commentary or any commentary other than the intro, but at least it looks good. It's a shame that it just handles like absolute garbage.
That's the fastest time you've set so far. Fantastic second sector. That's the fastest time you've set so far. Just put in your best time so far through the previous sector. 5 seconds behind. Alan McNeish seems to be having mechanical difficulties. Looks like an engine failure. Alan McNeish has pulled off and is out of the race. Blistering last sector. Fastest of the race so far. You're doing well. You're increasing the margin between yourself and Alex Shaw.
So yeah, I just decided to stop at that point because I was never going to finish the 15 laps. So just as a general summary for that game, it looked good. It played better than the previous years, which is an improvement because 2001 was terrible. I just didn't get on with it. But in the next installment, we should have a GameCube and an Xbox title making their debut for the series. So the next episode will cover 2003 to 2005, and that will cover the GameCube, the Xbox, and the PlayStation 2.